Hello, this is Mike, Kilo 3 Delta Oscar. This is our third and final episode in the last Hamshack series. In this video, we'll walk you through the completed, well, mostly completed Hamshack. And there are a couple of cleanup items still left you'll see in the video, but they are complete now. So, as always, if you find these videos fun, useful, or otherwise entertaining, please click the follow button and the bell next to the follow button so you get notified of new videos. Please give us also a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It helps us out greatly. I'm also looking forward to the comments below. Let's get right to the episode. We're going to do a tour of where the shack is at right now. It's basically done. Just lots of little cleanup things. There's the panel that comes through the wall. You see one wire coming through. It's actually for a GPS receiver that's outside. Only because I have trouble getting a GPS signal inside because I'm in the basement here. So I have an antenna outside and it just boosts it up. But I haven't been cleaned up yet. So that's something new. But you can see all the cables cleaned up going down the side. So we go over here to the shack. A little bit more of the shack. And let me do a here's a better view. Okay, here's a better view of the shack. And you'll see right here we have the weather station that goes outside. And then we have two phones. It is not negative 40 outside, just so you know. That's some kind of problem we just started having in the last couple of days with the weather system. I'm not quite sure why. Even the receiver upstairs is saying negative 40, so it has to be the transmitter, not this unit here. In the back there, you'll see a hardened Raspberry Pi that is running some of the low power IoT stuff that we discussed on the Let's Make It show a little bit, and hopefully come up on this one soon as well. We have two phones, so unusual, right? This left one, it kind of goes into the screensaver mode, but that's the Hamshack hotline. This other one, we just had a bike event this past weekend that we did. We did start net control from here, and we were also answering phones for the people that needed picked up or things like that. So this is the first year we've ever done that. So we hooked up to our VoIP system, and we're answering the calls. All right, we move over a little bit. This is the next, or the first of the rack stuff. At the top, you see there are three hotspots, and they're separated. DMR, D-Star, and System Fusion are all separated there. And then the bottom two are the rotators. The left rotator isn't hooked up to anything at the moment, but the right one definitely is. That's on my Leopack controller. So, and you can see this box right here. It's actually, if I turn it on, it'll come with lights. But that's the serial interface to the rotor controller. That's how we tell it where to go whenever we're trying to track a satellite. So we'll turn it back off. And up top here, these are the SWR meters for a bunch of different modes. And then above that, just another computer screen. And that's just basically rotating through different things. Weather, we have a couple different weather systems. Of course, that's the one that says negative 40 right there. But you'll get, that's the weather of the tower right now. So, and it keeps going through a bunch of different things, statuses and stuff like that. So that's what that side is. And we move over a little farther here. And it's caught up. So there's a microphone that can be used for my radios, although I don't generally use it for my radios. That goes into the soundboard where all the radios go. And that soundboard connects to the soundboard in the studio. So when I'm actually recording something over here, I can use this mic. And I have 3 or 4 of these type of microphones. So the sound is similar across microphones. It makes it easier to get the sound to be similar. Back on top back here, you see I have a 5 channel switch for antennas outside. That's how I'll control which antenna I'm on outside. Top right's the ID5100. That's pretty much my go-to radio almost every day. I just grab that. That's why the microphones and everything's on the right, because that's where I pretty much, I'm right-handed, so it's quicker. And then the radio to the left is an ICOM 7100. That is a remote rig. That radio is not here. This is just the head here. That radio is currently up at the tower site because we've been having some noise on our input on the 14613 input. So you see that's where it's set for right now, if you can read that. I don't know if you can or not, but that's how I can monitor what's going on up there. That actually belongs up at somewhere like my mom's house, somewhere else remote, but currently I got it up at the tower. Down at the bottom, we have the ICOM 7300. I'm trying to use it more and more, trying to get used to it. It's a great radio. I love the radio. I'm not as fast on it as the other one over here. Then we move a little farther, and we have our DMR radio right there. That's all that's used for is a DMR. And then we have the scanner, which I mostly listen to railroad stuff for the most part. It's something fun to listen to. I don't really listen to a lot of the county stuff because it's starting to get encrypted and stuff as well. Moving on down, there's the FTDX 3000. That's the radio, HF radio I'm most familiar with. So if I'm doing something, I generally gravitate to that in a hurry. But I'm trying to force myself to use the 7300 a little bit more. And move over a little bit more, and we got a couple more radios. So the top left is an FTM 400 for Wires X. The FTM 100 beneath it is actually the node radio for the club Wires X repeater here in Frederick. So you'll see it transmit on its own here a couple of times probably during this video, and that's what that is. That's how we get everything up there to the tower from here. On the right, the top right is a quad band, so it's 10 meter, 6 meter, 2 meter, and 70 centimeter. I pretty much use it for 6 meters the most, occasionally a 10 meter, but there's a couple of 6 meter repeaters around. Plus, we're going to put one up too, so it's good to have a radio that works on that. It doesn't get used for much other than that. And then beneath it is a Yaesu, I think it's 7800, 7900, I can't remember which one it is, but that's basically used for packet. So right now attached to that is a bulletin board that I've been playing with, getting set up, just playing around with it, and that's Ray N3HYM has been helping me get that working. So that's the radio I'm using for that, kind of dedicated to that. Beneath that is a Kenwood D710, and the main reason I have it is it has a built-in TNC. I have a ton of TNCs around, but it's just nice to have a built-in TNC. It saves lots of mess and everything. That's pretty much what I use it for, and it's easily removed from all this stuff's easily removed, and I can take and put it in my truck if I'm doing like a bicycle event. If I want to use a digipeater, it's real easy to turn it into digipeater. And beneath that is the GMRS radio. We're getting ready to put up a GMRS repeater as well, and this is just a good way to make sure I have access to that. And I've been monitoring. Today we had a storm, so there's lots of people in here talking about the storm and everything. And what you'll notice where I have the Kenwood, there's also a mic port there. I used to have, and even the old videos will show this, we used to have another FTM 100 there, and that was basically the backup radio for the node. Another local club was I wanted to experiment with it, see if they actually wanted to go forward with buying one or not. So it's currently up there at that location. So, but I still have it close to me if I need to go get it. And one of the things you'll notice is the bottom panel isn't complete yet. And that's because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in that panel. I'm trying to decide, definitely the GMRS radio, but I haven't determined what I want the other side to be. So I haven't ordered a panel for that yet. And then up here is the computer for that. And you see there's a webcam. I'll start recording some videos over here as well. The RigPi is just sitting there doing nothing. I'm not a huge fan of the RigPi, so I've basically disconnected it. It used to be connected to the 7300, and not a fan, so I unplugged it. Moving across, this rack right here, we can get it to go where it needs to go, is basically the power and computer rack. You see up top we have basically marine switches, same thing you put in a boat. And like the first switch is lights, like you can be able to see when I turn the lights on. That's really bright. So I actually have a 110 light behind there, like an up light. But in the event of the power loss, this is all on battery over here, so I can definitely turn it on. This is on my rack. The people who made the rack, nice enough, I don't know why I didn't ask them to do this, but it's great. They put a light in there for my call sign. Never use it though, but it was great, kind of a neat feature. And there's also a 12 volt plug for a lighter, and then there's USB right here. This is the charge controller. If you can tell, the back out, it's dark outside right now, so if you look at the charge controller, you're going to see it says it's nighttime because it's not charging anything. This is a charge controller for the solar. And then this on the right is actually a battery charger, and you can see it's actually charging a little bit right now. That's probably because I got all the lights turned on and everything, and it's just trying to keep up. Just make sure it's charged fully. Over here on the right is 4 power poles, and then another USB. This is a higher power USB. This is a 3 amp USB, where the other one on the other side is I think an amp or 2. It's really not really that good. And this middle panel is nothing other than a magnet. These are just my things holding on my name tags or anything. Down at the bottom on the left-hand side, these are Cat 5s. And then these three go to temporary antennas outside. When I say temporary, they are mounted on the tower, but they are on plates on the tower, and they're mag mounts. So they're not designed to be long distance. They're more designed to, like, when I'm testing a radio or programming a radio, I can plug it in up here on the right, get power, plug the antenna into one of these, and I have a load on it, and I can at least test some things with it. And off to the left here, you see, I know it says All-Star 1, but that's not what it is anymore. Port number 1 goes through that. So if I want to check and see what the power output is, I stick it in 1, and I can look over there and see power or SWR. These two are same other types of antennas, but they don't go through a meter like that. So just something convenient. These USBs go to the computer. So you see this is a digital converter, an ambi converter for digital. One of these is a headset, and one of these is the Stream Deck. So I still got an open plug. I pull things in and out. Lots of radios use cards, so I have a card reader right here, and then I have 210 plugs if I would need them here. And this is the battery status. Right now, as it say, we are at, you can't see it, but it's 99%. Maybe you can't see it, I don't know. So we're pulling basically 6.6 amps out right now. So that charge controller is making up for that, I guess. There's a tablet right here. This tablet basically is my sound control. This goes into a digital soundboard. It's a 16-channel Behringer digital soundboard, and this is how I can control each of the radios. There's the microphone, and then this soundboard connects to the studio soundboard, so I can pretty much link them together. And this is the computer sound, and all the different radios are in here. You can scroll across and see all the different radios. A Stream Deck. You might not know what a Stream Deck is. Basically, it's a shortcut for people that do a lot of streaming for controlling software. I got like 3 of these, and my other 3 are the 32 button ones. This one's almost useless for what I do for anymore, so I thought I'd try something, and I did. I got to work. So this says Echo Link on it. If I go to Echo Link, I can start the Echo Link application clicking there, but there's the PTT button. So I can wear my headset and sit here and push this button instead of having to use my mouse all the time. And the same thing goes with, Blue DV. So there's the push to talk for Blue DV. So, and I haven't figured out all the other things I can do with Blue DV, but I'll work on that at a different time. So that's the top part of the shack. If we look down here, let's see. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. It's kind of dark. This is the rack where the equipment is. You can see down here all the different TNCs I have and audio interfaces that I no longer use. So the radio is missing. This is the one I said I took to the other club to let them experiment with Wires X. So extra radios right there. There's the solar charge controller and the 250 amp hour marine batteries. They're AGM batteries. And if we move on over here to this rack, this is the one I'm still trying to work out some stuff with. I've moved all the switches into here. You see, they're still taped wires because I don't know if you can tell, but the rack gears I put on that switch do not fit that switch, and they don't go into the rack. So I got to find the right ones and put onto that switch, and then I'll clean the wires up permanently. But you see these 2 Lixon radios down here, they're receivers. And on the left, those 4 Raspberry Pis are putting things on the air, so into Broadcastify. So 2 of those connect to those 2 radios, and the repeaters that we get off of those radios get the audio out of those radios and put them into Broadcastify using those Raspberry Pis. The HRR 200, which is the node, has audio out on it as well, and it connects to one of those Pis. In addition, so the audio from the club repeater can come out, the digital could come out and be sent into the Raspberry Pis and go to Broadcastify. I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing is, I guess I didn't have maybe a question about this, but the tablet right there is part of our home automation system. So it allows me to make certain changes in here. Right now it only does 2 things. It turns the backlight that's behind the studio or behind the shack off. And then there's also, to make it pretty looking, there's colored lights, and you can see it over here better. And I can adjust the color. So that's all that does. I'm going to add more to this because there's a lot more I can do here. I just set it here to do demonstration. But yeah, I can turn everything off and on from there. So that's where the shack currently is. Still a little bit cleaned up. You can see the wires back there need cleaned up. And then this mess down here that I just created needs cleaned up as well. I want to thank you for watching the last Hamshack series. Here are some photos of the, in air quotes, finished shack, including the obligatory pretty light versions. Be sure to check out the show notes below for links for related content.